Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to ask, what do we need to know on this twin flame journey? What do we need to know on our twin flame journey? So I was thinking of maybe we'll try this deck. We'll try the Osho Zen Tarot, I think it's called. Let's see what we get. Well, we might try a couple of other decks too. Maybe one card each or something. But what do we need to know on our twin flame journey? What do we need to know? I'm going to grab 3 cards from this one for the collective, for my viewers. What do we need to know on our twin flame journey? What do we need to know, please? 3 cards. What do we need to know on our twin flame journey? Interesting. I'm just gonna get 3 clarifiers before I share, because one of them I'm a little perplexed on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little perplexed as to why one of these is reversed. Why? Why is it reversed? Why is integration reversed? Why is science reversed? Why? Why is this reversed? Okay. See, it makes sense when you ask for clarifiers. Okay. So we have integration reverse, which I'm like, what? Integration reverse? That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the twin flame journey, right? Because we got the yin, we got the yang, we got the balance, we got the integration. My gosh, it's all about the oneness. But it was clarified by understanding reversed. So what I'm getting is there's a lack of understanding when it comes to integration and what it means to be integrated. There's a lack. It's almost like people don't understand that the twin flame journey is about integration, and now they're feeling pretty stuck, right? They feel pretty caged. And once you understand, you free yourself. It's almost like you're going through a test right now. Your guides are putting you through a very tough journey right now. And it's hard to get a grasp on because your soul is really the one that's in charge of your emotions, and your soul can make you feel anything it wants. Whether you the avatar agree with it or not, even when you the avatar are like, is this something I really care about? Would I usually care about something like this? Is this even mine? And when you sometimes think about it and you really, really, really deep think about what you're so upset about, you start to really think and go, But you're not supposed to do that, right? That's spiritually, what's the word? When you're, okay, what does my daughter use? She says, I am spiritually, getting away from it. Like I'm it's an avoidance, right? Which is true, because this is what happens. If you do that, like if you don't allow yourself to go into the sadness, or if you don't allow yourself to go into the yearning, and if you don't allow yourself to go into the, oh, woe is me, or I feel separated, or I feel abandoned, or I feel betrayed, then you miss out on a bunch of healing, right? And so because I've done so much of that, after a while, when I felt like my soul was still doing that, I was just like, no, not buying it. It's like as my wheels, spiritual bypassing is what my daughter calls it. Spiritual bypassing. But I still heal. I still go through, because trust me, that the soul just finds a different way of doing it. So I was like, oh, well, if that didn't work, I'll make you heal this way. How about I hurt your foot? Now you got to heal that now. What do you need to do? So anyway, so there's just a lack of understanding. And once you do have an understanding, look, now you're not jailed anymore in your thoughts. Now you're free. Now the integration part, that is the we are all oneness. So it's really kind of it's really, I'm not gonna say my journey is the same as everyone else's, because that's not true. So with your own journey, you have to figure out what the heck you're integrating. what you're balancing, right, with the yin and yang, what that means to you. Like, what is the divine masculine balance? What is the divine feminine? But now I can teach you on this because I've studied it, but at the same time, you may come to your own conclusions on what that means to be balanced in your own divine masculine and your own divine feminine. And seriously, that's the key. When you learn to balance out your own divine masculine and your own divine feminine energies, look out world. Now you're in probably 99% of a better spot than most of the world. Maybe 1% is happier than you. Maybe. Probably not. You're probably one of the happiest people on earth. Because why? Because you're healed and you're happy, and you realize what you thought made you happy doesn't. And really the balance is key. It's so key. When you go too far, if you go too far into the divine feminine or too far into the divine masculine, or if you're out of balance in either one, it shows up in your life as a mirror. And it's quite annoying, just to be honest with you. And then, of course, you blame others, right? Because you're like, oh, everyone else sucks, right? And then you realize it's like, oh, that's me. That's me that needs healing. So anyway, so what do we need to know in our twin flame journey so far is that there's a lack of understanding what integration is. It's really integrating with yourself, integrating with your soul, integrating with all parts of self. Everything is a mirror. Understanding that everyone's energy is yours, understanding that, past lives are still highly involved in your lifetime, highly, highly involved, all your past lives. You thought it was over with. You thought you transitioned. You thought you died and came back. They're still here affecting you, asking to be healed, all parts of you. I don't know, or maybe that's just my journey. I don't know. If it feels right to you, I really should always say this. This is always just a perspective, one of many. So just take perspectives and take what resonates and just leave the rest. If what I'm saying doesn't resonate, take what does. Like just if there's a tiny piece that you said, oh wow, that really helped me, perfect. If the other stuff doesn't, leave it. It's not yours, okay? So what else do we need to know in our twin flame journeys? He always reminds me of Sadhguru. Doesn't he look like Sadhguru? He does to me. Anyway, so the master. So yeah, so what does that mean? Does that mean you're supposed to be Sadhguru? No, not at all. And honestly, I don't know if I see Sadhguru as a master. I think he's mastered certain things, like really cool things. I've learned some stuff from him, but I don't really see him as a master. And so you have to kind of figure out what it means for you to master. Like what does it mean for you to be a master? So, okay, first of all, let me say what it's clarified by. It's clarified by breakthrough. So when you've broken through certain things, right, where you're like, hallelujah, I figured this out. I was stuck. And now it's like, I've hit a new high. It's like, now you're mastering your own journey. And that does not look like that where you're, meditating all day and you're teaching the world something. That's not what this is. This is having your own breakthroughs in which you have broken through another ceiling, right? Where you thought you were stuck and you were just like, oh, wow, my life is so hard, or I can't believe this is happening. And then you have another epiphany, another breakthrough, and you've mastered. And so your life, your twin flame journey is about mastery. You're mastering yourself. You're mastering your, whatever the catchphrases they use in twin flame journey, right? So what do they talk about? Union, right? Oneness, unity, no such thing as separation, mastering that, mastering the divine feminine, divine masculine, okay, balancing, cleaning out your energy, cleansing, healing yourself, whatever it means to you, whatever you feel a breakthrough needs to happen. I wasn't going to share this, but I'll share it because it hit my brain. So what they want me to tell you is that it's been a really long time since I've been physically sick. And I used to get sick all the time. But once I've learned certain things about myself, like once I learned how to heal, once I had my toolbox, right? So once I figured out my trapped emotions, and once I figured out how to balance myself, how to ground myself, how to vibrate higher. Once I vibrate higher, I do realize I vibrate so high right now because when and I know this sounds weird, but when my past lives entity jumps into my body, which they do, it's very low and it's painful. The energy, and here's the thing, and there was a time when I was at that same energy field, very low. At baseline, I was very, very, very low. How do I know? Because I was severely depressed and all, and it just felt normal. Not normal, but it wasn't really out of the norm, I should say. And when you become very high vibrational, you're not a vibrational match to certain things anymore that you're used to. If I talk about my 20s, which I don't like to, it really puts me out of balance just talking about it. But I was very, 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 very sick all the time, and it just was just how life was. And so what you'll find is when you start to have these breakthroughs and you start raising your vibration, your life becomes more healthy, carefree. You make better choices. You're just clearer. Sometimes muckier when it comes to third dimensional stuff. Not gonna lie, I think sometimes the soul blocks you from here's the thing, in the we are all oneness. That's another tricky part, because when you start to being in the oneness, names start to go away. Because because really there's no such thing as individuals, right? You're all one, so names might go away. So what I mean by clear, I mean like you're pretty clear on the bigger picture of things. It's a different way of looking at life. Like you don't necessarily know third dimensional. I'm never going to have a great what do you call those types of games where you do when you answer questions. Like I'm not gonna know TV shows, or I'm not gonna know famous people's names. I'm just not. I'm not gonna know that stuff. I'm hovering in a different vibration. I think many of us are on the twin flame journey. We're just hovering in a different vibration, and we're observing what's going on in the third dimension, but we're not really of it. We observe it, and we see people close to us that are in it and suffering in it, and then we are not suffering with them, if that makes sense. So that's how you become clearer, because you can kind of see the bigger picture, and then you kind of understand, well, and if I do get sick, I understand it's my own imbalance, right? Like I've made myself imbalanced in some way, and that's okay. There's nothing to get upset about, and here's the thing, and I was about to say cancer, because I know there's a lot of spiritual gurus that have died of cancer, but the point, but the fact of the matter is, the soul's going to take you out somehow. The soul's not going to want to stay here forever. So at some point, even Jack LaLanne died. No one was healthier than Jack LaLanne. At some point, the soul's going to take you out. The soul's going to say, yeah, we're done here. We're just going to leave. And maybe you'll be lucky enough to die in your sleep. It's also, I think, fate as well, and what the soul wants to experience, right? So no right or wrong, but you'll find that you just, as you go up in vibration, you just see the bigger picture. That's all. And then the last one was silence reversed, and that is, interestingly enough, clarified by the Fool. So If you look at silence, it looks like someone who's going within, right? Like their third eye is open and they're meditating and they're talking to, well, they just have silence, right? But on this particular reading, it is reversed. And it is clarified by the Fool. So who is the Fool? Well, we're all a bunch of fools, right? We're all saying, you know what? Oh, okay, this is what they're telling. So they're laughing at me. Okay, so they're kind of telling on this twin flame journey. A lot of us are acting kind of foolish because we're forgetting to do this, right? So when you go within, this is and you're silent and you allow yourself to get these answers inside of you. Well, many of us don't do that, right? Whoops, sorry. So it's reversed. So many of us are not doing that. We're not being silent. We're not taking time to go within. Excuse me. We're not listening to our souls. And so what happens? We act foolish. We just do what we do. We're like, la 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 la, let's go this way. Oh, let's do this. Oh, and we just kind of react to our outer world. We just kind of react. We're reactors. We're just saying, well, that person said this and that person did that. So now I'm going to do this. Or, you know what? I'm getting bored. So I'm going to, whatever. Okay. But when you go within, okay, and you start getting some soul's advice, then you might start making some different choices. And when you make different choices based on the soul, and it's soul driven, I know, and they're telling me two things right now. So, two things with when it's soul driven. Two things. Please know that your soul is up for challenges. Okay. So when your life is soul driven and it takes you into a particular road, on a particular road, doesn't mean it's going to be because I used to think this. I was so, I was naive where I thought, oh, my life is so soul driven and we're just going with the flow and life is just so easy breezy. No, that's not how it works. No, the soul doesn't care about flow. The soul's going to challenge you to the core. And you know, everyone does, no one gets to get away from that. And it's meant to expand you. And your life does become better when it happens for that brief moment. I'll give you an example. My guides told me they wanted me to start fasting, right? So it's like an intermittent fasting. And I'm just all, oh hell no, I'm not doing that. Or I would do it very half-ass. And so then the soul's like, well, I told you this is the direction we're going, and if you're not going to listen to me, then I'm going to just have to make it where you have to fast. And I was learning all these things about fasting and how your body can either digest or it heals, right? So what do? They give me something to heal, which ended up being my foot. That's what ended up being my foot, which was in a very bad spot for me because I was about to go to Disney World, which is why, by the way, I didn't have any videos last week because I was having a family reunion. But I wasn't able to walk for a while, and I was a little afraid that I wouldn't be able to walk in Disney, but I did. And why? Because I fasted. I know that sounds weird, but that's why. Your body heals faster because your body either digests, or it's under stress or under duress, or it heals. So anyway, it's stuff like that. So it's still living a soul-driven life and listening to your soul and doing what your soul wants you to do. But that doesn't mean your soul's not going to give you challenges. Because like I said, if you're feeling a yearning, especially toward your twin flame, and you know, because you've already dated your twin flame, knowing your twin flame is really your shadow, very blatantly your shadow. and blatantly is not very kind, or blatantly not very loving, or whatever the case may be. Everything's different, or they just disappear for no reason. Um, just know that the soul's doing that because the soul wants you to figure out not to settle. The soul is like, you need to figure out not to settle. And the soul also wants you to figure whatever it is you think. Doesn't even matter what my opinion is. Or the soul is asking you to heal. And and if you go into some kind of crises, whether it be mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, whatever it is, you will tend to release something, right? You go through the tower moment, you go through the chaos. And what is chaos? Chaos is change. People think, oh yeah, I'm going through changes, and oh yeah, no big deal. I'm just changing seasons, or going through a different cycle. No, changes have a bit of chaos. I don't know why, but it seems to be the case. So when you start to go through a little chaos and things seem to be a little chaotic, you're just like, what the heck is going on? Why is everyone acting so crazy? Or why is my life so crazy? Or why everyone around me is cray cray? Well, it's just that for that reason, you're going through a bit of a change and a bit of a chaos, and then you come back, and it's almost like that whole rhetoric of the diamond, right? You have this piece of coal, and then you put a lot of pressure and heat on it, then it comes out a diamond, right? So it's kind of that. So that, to me, that's the chaos, that pressure, that heat. And sometimes change is very gradual. Sometimes change is very nice, or you get a happy surprise. And that's nice. And we all expect it to be that way. But when it doesn't and ends up being a little chaotic, a little crazy, especially what we see outside in the world right now, right? You see a lot of craziness and you think, oh my God, people are so crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of change going on out there. Things are going to change. There's going to be different outcomes. Life will not be the same after all these things that are happening. The things that you see in the news, trust me when I say, like, I'll just give you an example, and I could be totally wrong. I'm just going to give you an example. So let's just say gas. Okay, so gas is really high right now. Well, something's going to happen where, they're going to say, you know what, gas is not really a resource we should be using. Okay, everyone needs to be using this resource, and it'll be for free. But how are we going to get people to do that? Do we need to jack up the price and make it look really, really, really like un what's the word I'm looking for? Just nobody wants it anymore because it's just too expensive, right? So that's just an example. You got to make something look super ugly, something super not convenient, something super not affordable. And then people are like, well, that's not a good direction for me. And you're kind of forced into a new direction, right? You're kind of forced into a new resource. So that's what's happening all around the world. You're being forced to be healthy, right? You're being forced to. Otherwise, you're being surrounded by seeing a lot of people who are unhealthy, right? And that would be in the words of the pneumonia, COVID, that type of thing. And it pushing people to make new decisions and how to be balanced, right? Like, I'll give you an example. So I went to Disney World, and it was me and my sisters, and most of us came back healthy, including me. And my other sister didn't. And my sister said that she has COVID. And then she kept asking me. She goes, "Are you still healthy?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And then 2 days later, "Are you still healthy?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And so I think it's gonna make my sister's wheels turn and say, "Well, we were together the whole time. We touched the same things. We ate the same food. We drank the same drinks. We hugged each other. We did everything together. Yet you're not sick. You're healthy." And so what that's going to do is it's going to make my sister maybe not, but maybe look at her life, maybe at her diet, or maybe at her stress. Who knows, right? It just makes people think, right? They just start to think, and they're like, well, why is that? Like why was I the only one? You know, and who knows, right? So that's just an example. And maybe it had nothing to do with that, right? Maybe her soul just wanted her to rest, right? Maybe she wasn't supposed to go straight back to adventure. Maybe she was supposed to rest. Who knows? But that's the chaos, right? So that, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but basically living a soul-driven life or being the fool. We've all played the fool, and here's the thing: this is not a negative card by all means. It really isn't. This is not a negative card. In this respect, this is just what I was told. I was told you could make a choice. You could go within, you could be silent, you can listen, or you could play the fool. The fool can sometimes be fun, and you can stumble upon some very interesting conclusions, very interesting outcomes. When you go with the soul, I'm going to be honest with you, it's the same. It's all the same to me. They're telling me no, it's not. Okay. They're telling me it's not the same. All right, they're saying it's always a better outcome when it's soul driven and when you're silent and you listen. I'm just being a hard ass right now because the soul is being hard on me. That's all. But anyway, the soul will give you a path that they know you can handle and they know it's going to be a better outcome. So this is what they're telling me. They're saying we're steering you in a really good direction. We're giving you chaos because the change is about to be super duper. You just wait and see. And so you'll get a better outcome having a soul driven life versus, you'll have probably a little bit of a lesser outcome, probably a little bit of like, oh, be careful what you wish for type thing. Now I got it. And it's like, I have it. Shouldn't I be happy? How many people have you met where they really wished for something, then they got it, and then they're like, I don't want it. Do you want it? I want to give it back. Why'd I work so hard for this, right? So this is what you need to know on your twin flame journey. Just integration. There's a lack of understanding on what integration is. Mastery is your breakthroughs. And silence or the fool, your choice. Silence meaning, again, talking to your soul, listening to your soul, understanding what your soul is telling you. There's a way to communicate. Your soul does communicate to you through your emotions. Usually if something happens where you're feeling off, it means probably you're not going in the most correct direction. And then you just have to ask your soul, oh, am I not supposed to go in this direction? Oh, was I not supposed to eat that? Oh, was I not supposed to hang out with these people? Why am I feeling this way? What's this all about? Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling empty? Why am I feeling this void versus happiness, fulfillment, joy, right? So it's almost like you're just listening to the communication with your soul. Well, anyway, sorry that's so long again. I do hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much for all of you for watching and for subscribing. I really appreciate you all and have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everyone. Bye.